Hi guys, it's Dayo again with another video. So today I'm going to be showing you how to draw a still life object using shapes like this. So you're going to be using cones, just visual knowledge of shapes like square shapes, trapezium, to represent this particular still life object. So all we need to do is to just start off with our sketch. Obviously I'm going to be using my Procreate brushes, which are very free and available on Gumroad and Fidia. So if you're interested in getting my brushes, just click on my description box and check the links there. I'm going to be dropping links to my brushes. Just go and get them. They are totally free. But if you are interested in donating something or supporting me, please do not hesitate to support this channel. You can donate any amount you want to. So yeah, I'm going to be starting off with some shapes just to represent the jog, and also those fruits at the top of the jar and by the side of the jar. So we are just starting off laying down a shape, a solid basic shape, using our sketch brush. So just in case you don't know, I have a Telegram group where I post art challenges, and this particular reference which I'm using for this tutorial is one of the reference which I made for the challenge. And yeah, I have students in my and followers in my Telegram group that follow along and participate. If you're interested in participating in art challenges and sharing and learning, and yeah, if you are interested in joining my arts community, my arts group on Telegram, you can just click on the link in the description section, then you can join. So yeah, this reference was gotten from Pinterest, and yeah, you can still get the link in the description section to download it. So yeah, I'm going to proceed with making my sketch. Make sure you start off very loose. Don't give too much details at first. You can just start off with a random shape. If you are not good at we are not good at freehand drawing, you can just simply trace over the reference. But for this tutorial, I'm going to be starting off from scratch to finish, so do well to stick around. But if you are not good at drawing freehand or from scratch, you can just trace, then move or skip to the section area in which I started painting. So yeah, we're just going to start off loose and keep sketching. Just start with the big shapes. Just represent and replicate the shapes you're seeing. So we are done with our sketch, our rough sketch. So we mustn't necessarily go into details because we are going to be concentrating mainly on just painting. So we don't really need a refined sketch. So we are just going to be laying down our flat colors after we are done with our sketch. Make sure you click on the plus sign to add a new layer. So but before then, we are going to be changing the effect, the filter of our image to a monochrome um, image. We are going to be changing it to black and white or monochrome. So you can just go to your editor, then change the reference to a monochrome. Just in case you are a beginner and you don't know how to use color that much, this is going to help you just concentrate on the values alone. Then instead of you to be struggling with colors, it just helps you to concentrate mainly on values and shapes, and also on how to replicate those shadows and highlights using just the three value color, which is the black, gray and white. So I just filled up my canvas with a gray color. So and I selected a a black color, but I'm still going to change it to a gray color just to like fill up. Using my paintbrush, I'm going to fill up the silhouette of this particular object. So yeah, we're just going to be filling up the silhouette, which is going to serve as a base color for our painting. So just we are just practically going to be filling up the silhouette. Just make sure you make corrections while filling up the silhouette because of the rough sketch you've laid down, because we don't have a refined sketch. So we just have to be careful on how we fill our silhouette. So as you can see, I'm trying to clean up some sides which are not looking really nice and they are not correlating with the reference. So just make sure you clean up some mistakes that you've done in the sketch, and just make sure you just enjoy the painting. Just play around with some things. If you want to adjust, feel free to adjust and clean up some sides which are not good. And of course, I'm using my fill brush and painting brush for this particular silhouette filling. Yes, from my brush pack. It's totally free. You can get it on Gumroad and Fidia. So yeah, I'm still filling up the silhouette. I use my fill brush and my painting brush for that. So we are done filling up the silhouette. All we're going to be doing is we are just going to be starting our painting. So but before then, you make sure you add a new layer, and make sure the new layer is on clipping max. Make sure it's set above our silhouette. So make sure it's set above our silhouette. Then select the painting brush. Then make sure you reduce the opacity of your painting brush after you've selected the darker color. But if you're good at using your pressure sensitivity, you can just leave it at 100. But if you're not good, you can just leave it at 50. The opacity at 50, just to have control of your painting. Yeah, I've created a darker color of a darker color, that's a darker gray color for our shadows. So we are just going to be painting over the silhouette. Just make sure you stay loose, and make sure you just feel free to paint and replicate what the shadows you are seeing on the reference. So I'm going to be using a smudge brush, my smudge brush from my brush pack, but I am still going to be using my airbrush as a smudge brush. Then use my smudge brush to drag some sides and readjust some shadows. So just feel free to use any brush that you think is more comfortable for you to use. So I'm going to be adding more shadows by the edge of the jaw, by the back edge, and by the front edge, just to have that casting that cast shadow that comes with light bouncing from the top. Then when the light is bouncing from the top and there's something hindering or blocking the light from bouncing all over the object, there's going to be a cast shadow. So I'm trying to replicate the same cast shadow beneath the by the edge of the at the top of the jaw, sorry. Then yeah, just make sure you add some clean up some sides from some edges of the jaw, just to like show the highlights. I'm not going to be using any whitish color for the highlights on the jaw. I'm just going to be cleaning up to leave the silhouette. I'm just leaving the silhouette since the silhouette is kind of whitish, so I'm just going to be using my eraser to clean up the edge, just to leave that highlight feel. Then just using my brush to give that cast shadow, just giving it the shade by the back of the at the back of the drawer. Just I'm just trying to make sure I give it that cast shadow that we want. Just we are trying to understand value here. So whenever light is bouncing at the top, there's always a cast shadow, most especially when an object is blocking or hindering the light from bouncing all over the object. So yeah, I've done so many explanation regards to lighting, value, and also shading, and also cast shadow, and all those rim lights, all those um, practical lights, all those good stuff. So you can feel free to go through my videos and learn more of how to shade using values. So this is just practically what I'm going to be doing in this video. Just stick around and watch till the end, and watch how I transform this painting from a grayscale painting to a finished colored painting. So we're going to be replicating those lines by the body of the jog. So I'm using a paintbrush to replicate those lines. So after you're done with that, you're still going to be using a thinner brush. Just reduce the size of your painting brush, and go over the lines again, just to have that gradient fill in between those lines. Then after you're done with that, you can go and reduce opacity, or you can use the Gaussian blur to blur, and just make sure it doesn't look too much too visible and detailed. So yeah, and I'm going to be readjusting and multiplying and duplicating the lines just to like make sure it's more um more together, like it's close together, and also make sure the lines are make sure the lines are close to each other. Then also replicate those lines to just to save time instead of drawing them over again. So I'm going to be using my eraser soft brush as my eraser just to clean up some sides, just to have that lighter gradient feel in between those lines. So just make sure you use your soft airbrush to as an eraser just to clean up the lines, then proceed with your painting. For you to successfully pull off this painting perfectly, you need to have a understanding on layers. You need to have understanding of layers and how to use layers and how to use clipping marks. So just make sure you practice how to use layer. um, yeah, it's going to help you a lot in paintings like this. So guys, since I've explained my process on how I um, paint the jug, so I'm going to be speeding the video and be showing you the process on how I shaded the fruits. So yeah, just stick around and enjoy. So for those of you all that may ask me of the brush I use for the background and for the detailing of the fruits and for the highlighting, I used the dry brush in the painting category of the default brushes of Procreate. You can just get them there, and you can just get any of the default oil brushes and there and use it. It's going to work perfectly for you. So I'm just going to add a little bit of shadows by on the background, just add more depth, just to make sure the object in the subject stands out the from the background, and make sure the lighting setup and the lighting condition of the painting is in check. So yeah, I'm just trying to add more shadows and do some finishing touches, and just adjust some lighting on the objects, and yeah, just make sure everything is in check, and yeah, we're done with our painting. So the next thing is adding colors. So I'm going to be using a color brush from my Procreate brush pack, which is available on Gumroad and Fidia. Just click on the link in the description to purchase it, to download it for free. You can as well feel free to buy me a coffee. Yeah, so I'm going to be selecting a green color for the green fruit. So we're going to be using the color brush to apply this particular brush on our merged painting. But I would advise you to do this on a different project area, not on your project on your project that you're working on. What I mean is, I would advise you to duplicate and have a separate copy or a PSD file of the initial painting you've done already, so that just in case you mess this up, another spare another spare copy of this painting is going to be available. So make sure you are painting directly on the black and white painting. Make sure you are painting directly on the grayscale painting. If you are painting this on a different layer, is not going to give you this color effect feel. It's not going to give you this color feel. It's just going to give you a normal brush. It's just going to be like you're painting on it. So I would advise you to paint on, just apply the colors on the actual grayscale painting. The use of this color brush is for you to just, instead of you to use a blending mode, a color blending mode, this brush is containing a color blending mode already on the brush. So whatever color you pick and you apply on this painting is going to modify and change the painting, the black and white painting, or whatever. Black and white painting is going to modify and alter the color to whatever color you've selected. So for this, I'm using a red color, so it's going to alter the black and white color to the red color. So it's practically more like a color brush, and it's practically a color brush. So yeah, you can get this brush on my brush pack, and as I've said earlier. So yeah, I'm just going to simply just apply the colors on my grayscale color, on my grayscale painting, sorry. Yeah, I'm going to be doing the background, so I'm going to be selecting in a color effect on a new layer, and yeah, I'm going to be adding a new layer, then select a color blending mode effect, then just trying to paint over the background just to save time. I can't just use the brush to do the background, so for me to save time, I just have to create a new layer for the background, for the entire background, and just fill it up with a color blending mode. So I'm just trying to like get the background first, then clean up the subject. As you can see, just make sure you concentrate on what I do. I'm trying to like clean up the layer in which I laid down the color for the background. I'm going to just clean up the area in which the layer affects the subject, the object in which I've drawn already, in which I've painted already. So I'm just trying to clean up the subjects of the painting. I'm just trying to clean up so that it will not affect the initial color I've laid down on the subject. So I'm just trying to like omit or mask the layer, mask the background layer alone, and then use a different layer for the subject. So I don't know whether you understand what I'm doing, but yeah, I'm just trying to like make sure the background layer is different, then make sure the layer for the painting of the main subject painting is totally different. So I'm presently using an eraser to just clean up the layer in the color in which was used for the background layer. Then I'm just trying to modify everything and combine everything into one layer. So but for now I'm just cleaning up so that it will not affect my subject. Then after I'm done with that, I'm going to be merging both the layer for the color brush and the layer for the color layer, blending mode for the background, then merge it together, then proceed using the color brush to do a refined version of the, yeah, as you can see I've merged the layer. Now I'm just trying to like apply the color all over the subject, and yeah, I'm done with this particular painting. I'm just practically just using my color brush to clean everything and just paint over everything. Yeah, I'm going to also select a yellowish color for the jog, and also a greenish color for the branches. Yeah, I don't know whether it's called the stem or the branches. Anyhow, it's called for the grips. Then yeah, just apply colors. The color brush is going to help you give details to your grayscale painting. Then you can use a blending mode for the entire background as I've done earlier. So I just applied a blending mode for the whole background, then merge it together with the initial layer of the painting, and proceed altering the colors using the blending brush, the color brush. Thank you so much, guys. If you have any question, you can drop it in the comment section, and if you're a new subscriber, I welcome you to this particular channel. I drop tutorials once in a while. I drop tutorials like, yeah, twice in a month, twice in a month sometimes. So just do well to stick around, and if you have any questions, drop it in the comment section. And if you have any tutorial requests, do well to drop it as well. If you have a request for personal mentorship, you can hit me up in my social media platforms. So thank you guys for sticking around. Yeah, if you haven't subscribed, do well to subscribe and turn on the notification bell to get notified anytime I release a new video. So I'm still painting. Just make sure I'm not done with the painting. Just make sure you see and concentrate on how I add details, and also the luminance. I don't know whether it's called the luminance. It's called subsurface scattering. When the light bounces on an object, it has like this reddish color that comes in between the subject, most especially when the subject is a light subject, and also if the subject allows light to pass through, or to pass through it. So yeah, this is practically what I'm doing. Just make sure you keep on watching. I'm not done with this painting. I'm almost done, but yeah, do well to stick around. And yeah, we are done. We are just applying some effects, painterly effects, just to have a painterly feel. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Peace.